Hey, it's Yash. This is a good title. I got, or a good video, or whatever. I got this from a recommendation from somebody about being addicted to lower vibrations while you're on this spiritual path and following these non-dual pointers. Because it's like a lot of people, including him, he said something like, I tell myself it doesn't exist. These addictions are part of the body and the mind, but I'm not that. I'm, pure consciousness. And see, what I like is he's aware of it. He's aware of that. A lot of people aren't aware of it. You talk to them about an addiction or something, they won't admit that they have any defects of character, or addictions, or shortcomings, or nothing. They'll say, no, man, like that's nothing. Like I'm not. I don't even know who I am. Like I'm just pure space, But you can feel when that kind of talk isn't true. You might even get sick. My stomach hurts when I hear that stuff. I don't meet those people. We're on different frequencies. Like they just, they know better than to talk to me without knowing why they know better. So what do? Some main, see, I have another channel, Semen, it's Beyond the Alchemy, and I deal with, talk about semen retention. And it's mostly guys, obviously. But I also talk about preserving sexual energy, because women, it's not like women are exempt from that problem, but they just somehow, I don't think a lot of them come to that channel. And I also talk about relationships and the play of male energy. So the link is in the description if you want to check it out. But the reason I bring that up, because that's a big addiction for many people. For guys, I mean, there's sex addiction, food addiction, drug addiction, alcohol addiction, coffee addiction, cigarette addiction, etc. Money, being addicted to money, making money, or gambling, whatever. Until we're at home inside, there's going to be a market for something, always. It's just the way it is. There's no way to get around that. Now, whether or not one admits that to their own self, that's another thing. And it's not about being squeaky clean before you do a spiritual practice, or that you can't become awake if you're still holding on to some addictions or bad habits. It doesn't work like that. There's no perfect personality or human being. It's impossible. Every personality has some kind of idiosyncrasies and stuff, and a true master knows that and admits that and doesn't worry about it. But are you taking that to the extreme? Like Osho basically would talk like this, and then after he died, though, and I was living in India, I went to his ashram in Pune, and they just turned the whole place into a joke. You can buy colored condoms at the local store in the ashram, because hey, it's sex. We're transmuting energy, and love, peace. And you can buy alcohol and pizza and stuff because, the diet doesn't matter. It's for the body. And so I stayed like 3 hours and just left. I was like, damn, I just wasted my time. But I'm like, no, that's cool. Now I know, So these addictions, we have to have enough discerning wisdom to catch ourselves out. I'm talking to those people. The ones that think everything's cool and you're okay, I just don't think you'd be watching this unless you're ready. Something in you knows you might be full of it, and this is helping to expose that. It's all about exposing, you can say, these things that are keeping us small, because it's not a moral thing, good, bad. It's because when we're aligned in that frequency, this human construct, then it's going to seem to eclipse the recognition of this higher consciousness that we really are. You see, that's why we can't neglect this human program, because we're playing in it, And what should I talk about first? Just real quick, I'm going to go back to the sex and semen thing. A lot of times, you don't know what your karma is until you get into like your late 30s. Minimum. or early 40s, and that's if you had a really strong spiritual practice your whole life, because more things keep popping up. That's why, like, if somebody's in their 20s and they're talking, high level stuff, it's not that I don't trust them. I feel out vibrationally, but a lot of times we don't know what's inside us. We don't know the kind of karma that's going to pop up later, some desire all of a sudden for something. It's like, whoa, where did that come from? Yeah, this is what life is. But by the time, generally speaking, again, everything's generally speaking. I'm not condemning you if you're in your 20s and 30s and say, watch out, you're going to find out that you're a devil at some point. No, I'm not saying that. And the more we're already in touch and conscious of this natural desire to merge with the source, the more you're going to be burning off this karma anyway. It's all good. So a lot of these guys, the way it manifests for guys, they're super addicted to female attraction. I was too. We can call that edging also, because it gives a dopamine hit. But what does that do? It lowers the vibration. See, we're addicted to a lower vibrational habit. Now, it's not like, oh, I'm bad. No, it's not that. Or feel guilt and shame. I'm doing something that's not spiritual. No, it's all about, like, what's my main goal? Is it to realize the pure consciousness? If it is, then these things don't align with that. So I'm like missing my mark. If my goal is really to recognize who I am, then these aren't serving me. So that's the whole point. It's beyond moral, beyond good or bad. It's just about what's the most important thing in your life. So you discover what the most important thing in your life is. Let's say it's self-realization. Next step, you do a inventory of yourself. That's why I like 12 steps. Step 4, made a searching and fearless moral inventory of ourselves. And you discover, like, what am I doing that I shouldn't be doing? Why shouldn't you be doing it? Because it's blocking your main goal that the human being has, which is self-realization. So then you list that. You put it on paper. You can see it. Don't let it just. It stays too abstract if it's in your mind. Put it on the paper, and then you start being aware as you go through your day. Like, what am I doing? Am I doing these things? And then you bring consciousness into it, and consciousness is the real solution and way to transcend something. Consciousness, not by guilt and shame or suppression. That just comes out later, and perhaps in a worse, more perverted form. So we're just using the example of female attraction. If you're a guy and you're addicted to that, start being aware of that. That's one example. There's many, many different examples. Women too, same thing. This play between masculine and feminine energy is a trip. It's like the dopamine hit that the brain gets when somebody gives us some attraction, more for guys than girls, is super, can be intoxicating, especially if you haven't got it in your life, Another addiction, lower vibration, let's say eating. You're overeating. You feel some anxiety and stress inside, and then your habit, your go-to is food to kind of drown that stress out, But then what it does is just drive the stress and anxiety deeper, and then it comes out again, and then you got to eat more, and it's a progressive thing. Catch that. Just catch all these little things. Do an inventory and just see. Just have some self-honesty and check, maybe alcohol, maybe you're smoking weed, that's blocking you. Just start to be aware. And you sometimes you can't stop everything at once. It's impossible. But you just be aware. You be aware, you start working on it, you bring consciousness into it, and then watch the magic happen. And don't put a time limit on it. God, I've been trying to get rid of this now, and it's been 2 years. So what? You're trying to get rid of it. Most people aren't even, they don't do any kind of self-reflection or anything, So that's what you do. That's how it is. All right, have a good day.